Now, I need to draw a witch's hat up here. I need ears up here. So, my first circle, which is going to be most of her face, is actually going to go right here. Look where the belly button ended up. It's kind of close to the top of this circle in the lower half of my page. You'll notice that I'm doing exactly what I told you a moment ago. Going around it several times, okay? Some of my circles look pretty good. Some of them are a little messy. I'll just concentrate on the good stuff and let the other stuff fade. Now, this next part's a little bit tricky. We've got to put a straight line through that circle. Let's see, I'm going to go like that, right through the middle, and then I'm going to take that line up a bit further, right? Because it also has to go up here to show us where her hat goes. Now, we're going to put another guideline, that's what this is, going across from side to side. Now, I'm going to find, let's see, the middle would be right about here. I'm going to go ever so slightly, then the middle. There's just a little more room on this side of the picket fence than there is down here. Just a wee bit. That'll help us out in the final reel. Now, I'm going to show you what you're crying too soon. We've just gotten started. You haven't even seen my ribbon yet. Don't give up. Don't give up, okay? Let's keep going. Trust me, you're going to do just fine. Okay, halfway between this line and this line is right about there. And halfway between this line and this line is right about there. Now, this is called the 45-cent rule. Think of that as a quarter, and these as 2 dimes, about half the size of that quarter. There's one, and there's the t'other, right there. Okay? Now if I had done this next part, before I did those ears, it would have looked like somebody dropped their ice cream cone. Okay? I'm going to actually use those little tick marks that I did for her ears, and I'm going to grab on there and go up, like this, and like this. So now you can see the upside down ice cream cone, and this is her face and her witch's hat, or at least part of it. Now that we've got that in place, let's head down here and work on her fabulous face. Let's put her nose right dead center underneath this line. I'm going to draw a nice big grape shape right here. Okay? That's going to be her cute nose. You know what? I like the size and placement of that nose, so I'm going to go ahead and commit. I'm going to go ahead and lock that nose on in. There we go. Just like that. A nice bold coloring book, kind of an outline, so that you don't go outside the lines when you color it in, which I'm doing right now. Can pencil gray be considered a color? I guess so. All right. Let's give her a snout line. A snout line is a rainbow right over her nose. That shows that her nose is coming towards us a little bit in this very straight ahead shot. So just a little bit. It's very close to her nose there. Okay? Now, we're going to draw in her smile. Watch this. Halfway between the nose and the side of our circle, I'm going to put a little tick mark, halfway on this side, and about halfway down to the bottom of my circle. And now I'm just going to play connect the dots. There we go. And take it up there. There's her beautiful smile. What would Minnie be without a big happy smile? There we go. She's all done up for Halloween. These guys, they love to trick or treat, you know? And over the years, there have been a lot of spooky Disney cartoons. A lot of cartoons that were a lot of fun to watch. Spooky, but not too spooky. At Halloween time, I always think of the very first Silly Symphony, Skeleton Dance. I'm sure some of you have seen that. I think you can see it on Disney Plus. In fact, they beautifully restored it a year or so back. It really looks great, considering it is about 100 years old. Let's go ahead and give her some smile lines. 2 more little rainbows here and here. That just shows that her smile is so big and pretty, it's pushing up her cheeks. And we'll open her mouth up by making a letter U underneath that smile that we just drew. I like to make it about as wide as her nose. So if I were to come down from the side of her nose there and there, just bring the letter U down. I'm going to kind of flare out there as it goes up towards her smile. And you can see I brought it down right to the bottom of my circle too. It's wide. She is so happy. I wonder what Minnie's favorite treat would be. Snickers, Reese's. She probably likes Starburst. She probably likes the sweet fruity ones. Okay, to eat candy, you gotta have teeth, but we're not gonna give her teeth. We got her open mouth. Well, what we're gonna see inside is her tongue. So I'll start over here on this side, and see my center guideline. Here's where it comes in handy again. Bring a hill to it, just like that. And then grab onto that hill and bring another hill over here to the right. And I'm going to shade in very lightly this part here, just to give it a little depth. Now we'll give her a lower lip by looking at the curve right under her tongue and drawing it again just a little bit lower. This is a method called following the steady line. If you're ever in an art class and the teacher says follow the steady line, all they're saying is look at the curve that you just drew, or the line that you just drew, and draw it again a little bit below, sometimes above, sometimes to the side of. Follow the steady line, my teacher told me. We're going to draw on her cheeks being pushed up by that beautiful smile of hers by going up here, right to the side of her face, using this line, this guideline again. You're starting to see how much we use these guidelines. Draw a rainbow here and a rainbow on this side. Right above the smile, on the side of her face. So now when I grab onto it, I'm just going to take it out a little bit and give her these adorable, squeezable cheeks, bringing it down to her chin that we just drew in a moment ago. Let's lock that candy cane in there. There we are. And we'll do the same thing over here on the flip side. I'm right-handed, so I have to flip my arm around here. There we go. All right. That looks pretty good. We'll get that locked in. Some other fun, spooky cartoons from Walt Disney were The Lonesome Ghosts. In that one, Mickey, Donald, and Goofy actually became the original Ghostbusters long before Bill Murray had the idea, everybody. I think he ripped them off, really did. That's a great one. And if you've never seen The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad, you are missing out. That is absolutely spectacular. And the story of the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, the Headless Horseman, we still get a little together. Well, Walt Disney knew what he was doing. All right, brilliantly done that film. You can see I locked in the sides of her face just up to underneath her hat and ears there. I'm going to give her a character mask. Let's see here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Here's the history. The original Minnie Mouse and the latest incarnation of Minnie Mouse both have this that goes around their eyes, that curved M shape. Okay? That's called a character mask. Now it's easy to do. I'm going to grab onto the end of her cheek here and just bring it up under her hat, right close to her ear on both sides. Just like that. Okay? So there's the sides of it. The top of it is just a very small letter V with curved sides like that. Okay? I'm going to just lock this in. I'm not going to darken in anything too far up here because I got to add the brim of that hat and it's going to cover a lot of what we've already drawn in here. So I'm just going to lock it in up to that point. Leave the rest alone. But we got to get her eyes in there. Now, a lot of you probably don't know this, but Mickey and Minnie are California mice dudes. They were born right over in Burbank, and they love to hit the waves at Newport. They'll grab their surfboards, they'll run down there, they'll find a sand dune like this one right over her nose, and they'll stick their surfboards in the sand. There's Mickey's, and here's Minnie's right here. They'll put on lots of suntan or sunblock. They'll hit the waves. They'll take a rest. They'll go get a hot dog. And then wait 30 minutes. And then go back and surf some more. Very conscientious. Let's draw on her pupils. They go low and inside, which is to say right here. And notice as I do this, my pencil goes all the way around on both sides. If I were to draw just a half a circle there, she'd look cross-eyed. I don't want my beautiful mouse to look cross-eyed. So draw that whole oval in there and avoid that trap. Okay, looks like Mickey Mouse in a witch's hat. Okay, Watch this. Go right to the top here. And with 3 flicks of the pencil. 1, a little longer. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There she is. Now that we've got that in place, let's work on the brim of that hat, okay? What I'll do is I'll just go a little bit above the top of her head. I'd say right to about here, okay? There's the top of her head right there. I'm gonna grab onto that from that centermost point and bring it out, shaving off a little bit of the bottom of her ear, about that far. Okay, so I'm kind of even with the side of her ear, just below it. And then round off the end of it and bring it to the side of her face, just like that. Let's do it on this side now. Take it out. Let's see how far. That should be right about there. Round off the end. Yep, that's looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and lock that brim on in now too. There we are. She is such a cutie. Oh my goodness. There we are. Her voice, this surprises a lot of people. Her voice was actually originally done, and I'm talking way back in the Steamboat Willie days, by Walt Disney himself. Walt Disney was the voice of Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. He just couldn't find anybody else that could do the voices the way he heard them in his head. So he did it himself for a little while. And after he got real busy and his voice got a little deeper as he got older, he found some other very, very talented people, like Lucy Taylor, to be the voice of Minnie Mouse. But there have been others too. Okay, now I'm going to lock in the top of her head, get that little character mask widow's peak there. And let's lock in the witch's hat. Don't do anything with the ears yet, because the ears are behind the hat. Whenever you draw a hat or a bow with polka dots on it, accessories always go in front of the ears. Here's a hat band for a hat. Just put a rainbow just above the brim of the hat for a hat band. Okay? Now, all we have to do for the ears is draw what's playing peekaboo from behind the hat. So this much of it. Let's go ahead and do that. There we go. She's looking good. There we are. Okay. We have a fun show here at the park. Just down the road from where we are, they have a show that I'm pretty sure features Mickey, Minnie, and their pals celebrating Halloween. I think it's called Trick or Treat. Anyway, it's right down the way from our building. That looks pretty good. You know what? I'm at least going to go ahead and darken in her ears. Turn your pencil sideways. Use it like a crayon. You'll cover a lot of space rather quickly when you do it this way. Do that over here too. Like that. I'll get the character mask. Just the character mask, okay? A little bit there at the top, sides. And now if you want to shade in the hat, I'm gonna do this just above the hat band, and I'm gonna make it darker than the ears. I want the hat to be a bit darker than the ears. I think that's pretty good. It does look darker to me anyway. And the brim here, pushing harder on my pencil to get it nice and dark. Here she is. Line stand out a little bit more there. Yep, there she is. I'm going to go ahead and sign my mouse right over here. We've run a bit long. That happens a lot when we're adding things like this to them. But that's what we do for our art. How did everybody do?